You look like you've been under those. Okay, I just wanted to get your opinion on it. I like it.
No, it's a good hose.
All right, that'll work. He'll be back. Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California, and today I'm coming to you to talk about garden hoses. No matter how much I untwist them, no matter how much I try to keep them straight, they not only kink. I want you to see this. All these hoses lately I've been getting are collapsing. See how flat they are? It's really weird. I bought really good hoses and they just collapse. I have been buying different types of garden hoses for years. I have tried the best, I have tried the cheapest, I have tried everything. And over the years, I'm seeing something happen to them that I've never seen before. Years ago, when I used to use a regular garden hose, a good brand, they kink. And you'd have to go over there and unkink them. And, you know, I don't curse, but you sure do feel like it when you keep unkinking them and they keep kinking back. Well, I went ahead and bought a few others and I had the same problem. And then about a year ago, I tried a few different hoses and something else happened. I don't know if you've ever had this, but they're collapsing. I've never seen anything like it. So now you're in the middle of gardening and watering, and the hose in certain spots not only kinks, but it collapses inside. I don't know if it's coming apart. Sometimes it readjusts and it fixes itself, but I've never seen hoses, good rubber hoses, collapse. So I went ahead and I got the stretchy ones, and you all know that, what do they call them, pocket hoses, because they go back. And you know, I'll tell you something. I've got one on my deck and I've been using them for about 4 or 5 years now, and they work really good. The only problem with those are if you got a little dog and they put their teeth through it, it's goodbye hose, because it's a fabric and the inside has got like a thin plastic hose in there, and it is thin, but they do last for a year. And I've got one on the deck now that's probably 1.5 years, and I have to keep Zoe, my Yorkie, away from it, though she really wants it, but she has her own, because the one from about 1.5 years ago busted, and I gave her that. I saved it and she plays with it and stretches it. So I went back to the drawing board and I started looking at hoses, and I found one that was really iffy, and I decided to try it, to the point that I now have bought 4 of them. These are stainless steel hoses, and let me tell you something about it. My opinion, and maybe you'll go with it too, they come in different sizes, and that's what I want to talk about it. You know, don't let me forget, because this is important to me and it might be important to you. But going back to these hoses, I have now been using them for 6 months. I didn't want to do a video on it right away, because what if it broke? What if something happened to it? What if I told you it was great and then it fell apart? I've got 6 months use out of a good 3 of them. And then the other one is on the new side. And when I say new, it's been about 2 months. And they're all going strong. It's probably the scrub jay coming for peanuts, because I keep giving him peanuts. That's what he wants. So I started in the front yard because I needed a hose there, and I went ahead and moved that one. That one was longer, and I moved that into the rainbow garden. It works fantastic. It goes around corners, it goes around your chairs and anything on the ground. It never kinks. It can't possibly kink. I was worried about it breaking down right away because it's out in the heat and it gets pretty hot. No, it's going strong. I stepped on it, the wheelbarrow's gone over it. It just keeps on going. So then, after I put one in the rainbow garden, and now I've got one in the front yard. Now I've got one in the bird garden. I do still have the conventional rubber hoses around, and I'll tell you why I do keep those over these. Now Gary won't use these for the reason of the water flow, and that's what I want to talk to you about. That and the size. Size is important. Now these are kink-proof, puncture-proof, tear and crack-proof, torn and nail-proof, corrosion-proof, rust-proof, and animal-proof. And you know what? So far, I gotta say, it's really stood up to the test here. The dogs don't bother them. Nothing seems to bother them. The heat doesn't bother it. We've been hot, you know, all summer, and that doesn't bother it. It is my favorite go-to hose. So I've got them kind of periodically showing up more and more, and you've probably seen them on garden tours. Now let me tell you the downfall on them. And this Doesn't really matter that much for me. It might for you, and it does matter a lot for Gary. The downfall is, I don't believe it even tells you the size. It is a narrow hose. So you're not going to get, no, it doesn't tell you, like it's, I don't know if it's a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch. It doesn't give you the water flow you'll get out of a 3/4 inch hose. Now we have high pressure here due to this area has what's called irrigation plumbing, so that we can bring in a lot of pressure. House pressure is about 60, but outside it could be 100 to 150. So if you were going to really need high pressure, and I mean a lot of water flow, not just a stream, you can get a good stream out of this, then this isn't the hose for you. That's why Gary likes high pressure. He wants to go through his garden, full 3/4 inch hose, go through everything, water it, and be done. This one is not trickling. As you can see, I've used it around the yard, but it's probably equivalent to a 1/2 inch hose, which is a smaller diameter. It's a smaller hose. For gardening, for washing your plants on a cool day, or for just watering the plants or watering or hosing the cement down or something, it works perfect. But you're not going to get the super high power. Can you wash a car with it? I don't know. I haven't washed the car, but I don't see why not. I mean, you're just not going to get the big blast. That's the big thing with it. So Gary didn't want him. He's fine. He's got his hose set up in a way where it's not kinking for him. But for me, I'm dragging it, you know how far, sometimes all the way down the driveway, or especially in this garden. And that's when it's been kinking a lot. No kinks with this. Reliable hose. It doesn't even have to be this brand. I've seen there, I'll try to tag it so you can see it, at least to go to it and check it out. They tend to come with a sprayer, which I'm happy with. Why do I have an extra sprayer? Ah, that's going to be the main thing coming up. Now, the next thing. I'm really happy with it. It does the job. If it lasts me a year and something happens to it, so be it. Because I got a year of peace and not fighting with the hose and unkinking it. And then I have to sit it out in the sun because it collapsed and try to shape it back. I haven't had this at all. So if you're looking for something on your patio, your deck, your garden, that you want something that seems to be reliable, I have found these stainless steel hoses really good. Now, what was I going to talk about size? They do come in all different sizes. I believe I've got one that's a 50 foot. I bought a long one for the front yard, thinking I wanted it super long, but I didn't need it that long. So I took that one and put it in my rainbow garden. Then I went and bought a 25 foot for the front yard, which is good enough. If it's not good enough, it doesn't matter. Because what I did for the bird garden is I bought a 25 foot, and it wasn't as, I was enjoying it, I should say, so much. No kinking, going through all the plants, cleaning out the fountains and everything. And you can turn the nozzle on and off, which you could do with any hose, really. But the idea that I'm not spending 10 minutes unkinking a hose every minute, that what I did was, instead of buying a hose that's 50 foot, 75 foot, or 100, which they make, I went and bought another 25 foot. And I put them together, and I've got it here. Now, why would I do that when I could save a little bit of money by buying a 50 foot over two 25 foot hoses? Well, not knowing these 100% and knowing how the fabric ones, the pocket hoses, after a while, well, it's not after a while, something bites through it or you puncture it, they go. Well, if I punctured this or did something to it, I'd only lose a 25 foot hose, and I can buy another one and attach it again. So my outlook is, why not get smaller ones? Put them together. You'll have an extra one if these things wear out on top of that, because you're only going to get one with each hose anyways. These seem to work really good, these sprayers. And then this way, if part of the hose goes bad, you can get rid of that one and just get an extension. So that's the way I'm doing it. It's just kind of a tip. Maybe it will work for you that way too. And maybe there's certain times of the year you need a super long hose. You can have two of them together. And maybe in the winter, you only need a short hose to, I don't know, do you wash snow off? And you need a short hose for something. You could roll up the other part of the hose. You can put 2, 3, 4 hoses together, and then you can drag that out in the spring when you start gardening or whatever you do. So I'm going to have to tell you, you know how I love certain products? This is my go-to. This has changed my life. I have nothing to do with it. This is not a promotional type video in any way. I paid full price. Nobody's talked to me about it. I just experimented with a lot of different hoses to find out that this one has worked so good for me, and maybe it will work for you. And again, it doesn't have to be this exact brand, but a good stainless steel hose, and then it's up to you the length you want. Do you want to go long, or do you want to buy a couple of them and put them together? This way, like I said, if one goes bad, you don't have to, it's not a whole loss. It's only that one. So I hope I've given you some tips and ideas on how I do my gardening. And I'm going to tell you, I love this hose. And that's not a joke. I would be all the way down on the other side of the bird garden, and I got to come all the way back, and then I got to untwist it. And you know how it is. You guys are probably dealing with it. And then you got to get it unkinked. And sometimes it's kinked so hard you can't. And you're trying to unkink it. And then you've got to twist the hose. I don't know how it does it, but it never gets twisted. And if it does seem a little bit twisted, I just turn it when I'm done, and it's fine. But it's like, it's a dream in the garden to me. So with that, have a wonderful day. Stay cool if it's hot. Stay warm if it's cold. I don't think it's cold yet. Some of you told me it's cooling down. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. Oh, I love this hose. Just wrapped up my video on the hose that you don't like. What's the reason you don't like it?
It doesn't have enough volume.
You're just lazy. You don't want to stand out there long enough to enjoy your garden. You just want to go out there, spritz the thing, and be gone with it.
Yep.
No, is there any other reason?
No, that's it.
Like, should people know?
No, it's just because it's 5/8 or ½ inch.
It doesn't say.
Whatever width, diameter it is, I prefer 3/4 inches because of volume. That's all.
Have you been using your hose? Because you look all wet.
No, I've been hammering in posts.
You look like you've been under the hose. Okay, I just wanted to get your opinion on it. I like it.
No, it's a good hose. My only negative would be volume-wise for me.
I'm guessing ½ inch. It might even be smaller, but I think ½ inch. I think it's a ½ inch hose.
Okay.
It works for me, but that wouldn't work in your garden.
No.
I'm happy. So far, it hasn't broke. None of them. And
No,
Zoe
they
can't
broke. They're
chew through it, and I've walked on it and stepped on it, and
no coyotes have chewed them up or anything like that.
yeah, that's true. Oh, I forgot. I didn't even bring that up, how the coyotes have gotten to the yard and chewed a hose to pieces one night. Forgot about the other one. They don't want to chew on this stainless. They call it stainless steel. It can't be aluminum because it doesn't bend at all. So if it was aluminum, it would bend. But the box is stainless steel. Anything else you want to add to it?
No, that's it.
Okay, wave. At least you don't touch the one outside on the deck. You have a blue one. The one on the deck is green. And you know the difference, right? Though the temptation is always there. Oh, you are so funny. Okay, now you got my finger.